Encyclopedia for the Young. Horizon. This name is given to the line where the land or sea appears to meet the sky in the distance. It is a level line which makes a complete circle round you at a distance of something like 3 miles. If you are standing about 6 feet above sea level, the higher you happen to be, the wider does the horizon become, and from the top of a cliff 100 feet high, it appears to be 12 miles away. Horn. The horn of a cow or ram or buffalo is hollow, and one can make a musical instrument from it on which a loud note can be blown. The name is also given to a brass instrument in an orchestra, the French horn. A little metal trumpet gives a high note. A metal trumpet 10 feet long gives a low note. As it is not convenient to carry or use a straight trumpet 10 feet long, it is coiled. By the use of stops and other arrangements, all the required notes can be played, but this complicated orchestral instrument is still called the horn. Horsepower. When it became necessary to have a definite unit for measuring the amount of work done by engines, James Watt suggested that a useful unit would be the amount of work a horse can do. This suggestion was adopted and called 1 horsepower. It is a power to lift 33,000 pounds one foot in 1 minute. For example, if a weight of 1,000 pounds was on the ground and an electric motor lifted that weight 33 feet in 1 minute, the motor would be doing 1 horsepower of work. It was found later that Watt had overestimated the power of a horse, for even the best horses cannot work at this rate. Hospital. This word used to mean an inn where travellers could get shelter, food, and rest. Later, it came to mean a place where the poor and the sick were cared for. Today, a hospital provides sick people with medical or surgical attention which cannot be given at home. House of Commons. The affairs of the British nation are now conducted chiefly by the House of Commons. At one time, the king had great power, but Charles I was beheaded in 1649, and James II was deposed in 1688 for trying to hold that power for too long. Then the House of Lords used to have more power than the House of Commons. But as more and more people were allowed to vote, the House of Commons gradually obtained more control over the affairs of the nation. There are 630 elected members. The chairman is called the Speaker because he was the man who in days gone by had to speak to the king and tell him what the views of the Commons were. House of Lords, part of the British Parliament. The members of the House of Lords are not elected. Certain archbishops and bishops are members because of their religious office. The others are noble men of high rank, some of them coming from Scotland and Ireland. The Lords consider all new laws and either agree to them or suggest changes. In difficult law cases, the House of Lords is the final appeal. Some of the most able lawyers in Britain are in the House of Lords, and it is they who are asked to give the final decision. Drama is the telling of a story on a stage, in action and in speech. Since the time of ancient Greece, we have had plays of one kind or another. The Greeks did not act as we do today, but told their story in long speeches with a chorus to explain or comment. People have tried to teach religion and good citizenship by means of plays. There are also amusing little plays to make us laugh and keep us happy. Shakespeare is the greatest man of the theatre. He died in 1616, but his plays are still popular today. Drawing. There are two kinds of drawings. Those which are made for men who have to build things, plans of ships, engines, bridges, houses, and so on, and those which are made by artists to delight the eye. The first must be an exact record of all the measurements of the thing planned. The second is less restricted and more imaginative. The thing or person that the artist draws is transformed into delightful patterns quite different from a photograph. Sometimes it is like an improvement on the reality. Eagle, a large bird of prey which flies very high and swoops down on birds or animals it wants to kill for food. The golden eagle is probably the best known, but is now rare in the British Isles. Some still nest in Scotland. It is a noble-looking and courageous bird, and for this reason it has often been used as a war standard or as a symbol. Julius Caesar's army had a golden eagle on their standard. The eagle was also chosen to represent the German Empire and the American nation. Earth, the planet on which we live. It travels round the sun, taking about 365 days to go round a year. It is also turning on its own axis and takes 24 hours to do this a day. The Earth is like a spinning top leaning over at 23.5 degrees. When the North Pole is leaning towards the sun, as it is during the British summer, the land and sea between the North Pole and latitude 66.5 degrees can get sunshine for 24 hours on some days. Earthquake, a movement of the surface of the earth. It may be so slight that we hardly notice it, or so great as to shake a city to pieces or flood the land with an ocean wave. When we realize that great ridges of mountains like the Rockies and the Andes were thrown up by movements of the Earth's crust, it is not surprising that there are occasional ripples on the surface due to the many changes that are always taking place. These are brought about by cooling, transfer of salt by rivers, mountains crumbling away, internal explosions, and so on.